One.
Hey everyone, how's everything going? Once again, we got another veteran education series for you guys here today. We're talking about life insurance one-on-one, kind of give you guys the benefits, the cost, and the value behind each type. Because let's be honest, there's a lot of types of life insurance out there. But once again, today you got me, Joshua Thompson, owner of Thompson Tax Group, helping you with your tax needs. And you also got today Chris Jackson. Chris Jackson's going to be talking more about the life insurance side of things. He's been in the Army National Guard for 13 years now, and he's with Cambridge Financial Group that kind of helps you guys with your financial needs when it comes to life insurance and other financial aspects of it. So let's kind of just hop right into it today, Chris. Really, with the first question I have is what is life insurance, and really at the end of the day, why is it important to us?
Yeah, thanks, Josh. So life insurance is a financial insurance that really helps protect your life from unforeseen events. So a lot of times people go through life, they're thinking about protecting their home, their auto, their business. They don't think about the most important asset, which is actually themselves. You're going to generate more income because of you existing than any of your other assets, right? Your knowledge is irreplaceable. So what I do is I meet with people and I talk to them about understanding that if you want to protect your income, you need to look at the big picture and see, okay, how many years am I working? What do I have a business that I want to protect? If I was to pass away tomorrow, what are the expenses that be incurred, not only for my funeral, but for my family? And would they be able
Yeah.
to maintain the same lifestyle without having to sell things or move in with mom and dad and turn life upside down? So that's really why life insurance is so important.
Oh, I mean, it's interesting. You brought up a good point. It's really at the end of the day, we have auto insurance, homeowner insurance, rental property insurance. If you have a rental, you have all these different type of insurance, umbrella insurance. But at the end of the day, are you covered just in case in the event something happened to you? You don't want to leave your family in that situation where they can't afford something or whatever it may be. But Chris, I know there's different types of life insurance out there. One of the biggest ones I hear a lot is term life insurance. Do you mind talking a little bit about it and tell us what it is?
Yeah, so term life insurance, hence the name term, it's for a period of time. And so typically you'll get a term insurance for somewhere between 10 and 30 years, and it'll be a fixed rate for that period of time. And so this is the best type of term of insurance to get the biggest benefit, the lowest cost when you're young, and it does go up over time. So a young newlywed couple had just had their first baby, you might have a huge amount of need because that little baby is going to not be an adult for another 18 years, and if you're the primary breadwinner especially, you want to make sure you have multiple years of income and life insurance to protect those needs. So term fills that objective very well for young families.
Okay, got it. And then I know I've also heard the I don't know if this is something different, but group life insurance. What is the difference between term life insurance and then group life insurance?
Yeah, so group life insurance is a company benefit typically that your
Okay.
employer would give you. And it is different than term in the respect that you don't have to typically do any underwriting for that. You will get that for a couple dollars or for free if it's depending on the type of group life, if there's an opt-in or it's just a automatic benefit. And the problem with group life is it's not portable. So if you go to a new employer, you don't have that insurance anymore. Another problem with group is it typically doesn't cover as much as you need for your financial situation. So everyone's situation is different.
Yeah.
But for a lot of people, it's important to supplement some of their group life with either a form of term or permanent insurance, depending on their objectives. So I always tell people they have group insurance, great. Think of it as a bonus. Think of it
Yeah.
as more insurance to protect your family, but don't bank on it because you don't know if when you pass away you're actually going to be working at that job.
Definitely. And it sounds like if you have a business, that could be something you take advantage of as well in the event that you can't get insurance another way. Maybe you look at group life insurance as well. But
Exactly.
a lot of times you hear it's term life and then permanent life. We talk a little bit about term life, but really what is permanent life insurance?
Yeah, so the best analogy I like to give is thinking of a home, right? So if you're renting your home, you've got it for a period of time, that's term. Permanent life insurance is like owning your home. You might have a mortgage. It might be more expensive up front, but it's going to give you a lot more value long term. You're going to have equity in the home. You can refinance it, restructure it. Same thing with permanent life insurance. You will have this insurance with you throughout your life, but it's not just paying for the death benefit. You're actually building, a lot of times, depending on the situation, the type of permanent life cash value, it can actually be accessed while you're alive for supplemental retirement income, savings. It's things that are not restricted to retirements per se, like say your 401k, where you can't touch it until 59 and a half without early withdrawal penalties. So it's another bucket of money that you can save and actually grow some interest on a little better than the bank account. So those are some benefits. And there's also some other living benefits that we'll talk about here in a little bit.
Yeah. Okay. That sounds good. So when it comes down to permanent life insurance, is there just one? Is it like this big thing, or is there multiple types in there of permanent life insurance?
Yeah, so there's multiple types. So whole life is the most conventional. It's the one that's been around for a couple hundred years, since the early days of most of the big insurance companies. You pay a premium, and over time, some of them are called participating, which means they have dividends that will actually grow the value of your life insurance over time. So it's almost like inflation on your life insurance, inflation defense, because it's helping you keep up with that. And then there's universal life, which is a little more like a hybrid of term and whole life, where it's based on how the cost of insurance is based on how old you are, but then you have an option to pay a flexible premium, which will go more towards your cash value over time. Typically, the universal life's at a fixed interest rate like whole, but usually more conservative. And then there's index universal life, which is based on an index like the S&P 500 index. And unlike just going out and putting it into the stock market, there is actual protection. So the money can't go down under, say, 1%. And it will actually cap at a percentage, maybe 10%. So you'll have a ceiling and a floor with regards to the interest credit to your cash value. And then there's a variable universal life, which is actually in the market. And so that's the most risky of them. So whole life is the most conservative, and variable universal life would be the most risky type of permanent life insurance.
Okay. So it sounds like there's mainly 4 different types. It's got the whole life, the universal life, the index, and the variable universal life. That sound about right?
Yeah. Yep.
Got it. Got it. So, I mean, you have life insurance. Can you only benefit from it, when you die, unfortunately? Or is there other aspects of, permanent life insurance that you can actually use while you're living?
Yeah. It's funny. So a lot of people that are young, maybe they don't have kids and they're not even married yet. They won't think twice about life insurance. It's like, well, I have nobody that is going to take the turn to support me, right? Well, that conversation, I really talk a lot about the value of not only, you never know what the future holds. You may have kids, you may not, you may get married, you may not, but you have living benefits that there are things that inevitably you might have to worry about, like long-term care or chronic illness. What if you get diagnosed with cancer, right? Most people don't have tens of thousands of dollars sitting around to be able to pay for chemotherapy if something happened, right? That their health insurance will not cover fully. So a living benefit of permanent life insurance, especially that some of the companies I work with will free of charge allow you to actually access the death benefits as cash while you're alive for those things. So if you need long-term care or you need chemotherapy treatments, and you can access your cash for that. In addition to that, of course, the cash value that you can also access at any time, that can be used as a way to diversify so that you can be more aggressive with your other assets. So, for example, you can have a more aggressive portfolio of stocks and not have to be as conservative in retirement, because you have another bucket of money that when the market goes down, you can borrow from that bucket of money, and it'll allow you to recover on the rebound from the market, and actually allow that your investment accounts will last longer. So there's multiple reasons why a permanent life can make a lot of sense. It's also protected from lawsuits, and it's also tax efficient. It'll be transferred tax-free to your heirs and bypasses probate. So there's lots of value to permanent life insurance.
Oh, okay, so that's interesting. Now, really, we talked a little bit about group term life insurance, how, if you're a business owner that you can use that. But really, at the end of the day, does life insurance come in handy in any other ways for business owners? Can they utilize it in another situation?
Yeah, I just had a client that I helped set up a benefit for one of their key employees where the business owner is actually paying the premiums. However, at the end of a vesting period, actually, so this particular situation, it's a 10-year vesting schedule, which means that the company retains ownership of the policy until those 10 years are up. So they retain the cash value, and then the portion of the death benefit would go to the part that they didn't pay in premiums would go to the spouse of the employee. However, after that period of time, now the employee owns it full outright and now has access to the cash value and the death benefit. But at the end of that transfer period, the employer or the business owner actually gets a deduction for all the premiums they paid, plus some of the interest. And so they actually will get a big deduction at the end of that time. So there's other things you can do. We talked about buy-sell a while ago, executive bonus planning. There's other ways to design it, but in essence, the business can have a way of incentivizing the employee to stay and also get some tax benefits along the way.
Okay. So it sounds like there's some other benefits, really, even if you're a business owner, not just death at the end of the day. Well, Chris, is there any last minute thoughts or any items that you want to throw in there for the listeners today?
I would just say, when it comes to your finances, it's important to protect what matters most. And I know a lot of people that have a philosophy where life insurance is kind of the bottom of the totem pole when it comes to their budgeting. But I would highly recommend people think of it the other way and say it should be the top of your priority because it's the biggest financial disruption for a lot of families. A lot of times people will go on a GoFundMe if they have the death of a loved one. And I hate to see that, especially knowing that you can get a substantial amount of insurance for a very affordable price depending on your situation. So I just recommend talk to a financial professional about life insurance, find someone you trust, and just get some and don't procrastinate.
Definitely. Well, Chris, I appreciate you joining us today. I mean, looking forward to the next episode that we do together. And for all the other veterans listening or anyone else listening, this is a continued series that we're doing to kind of, us veterans putting out information for other veterans, military members, or any individuals that utilize this information. So if you have any questions, either drop them in the comments, go ahead and contact Chris or myself. We're happy to either point you guys in the right direction or help you guys out in any way we can. But until next time, thank you guys for joining us, and we'll see you guys then.
Yeah. Thanks, Josh. Take care, guys.